Is this thing on? Yeah? Right, okay. Right, I've got a message for all you listeners of this ridiculously named podcast, Horses and Biscuits. Exactly. And what's even more ridiculous is they asked me to be on the show. I mean, why would I do that? Wesley Henry's got far more important things to be doing on a Sunday afternoon than sit in a room with Team Karen and that chatterbox receptionist. They also wanted me to tell you that the title for this podcast was Meet the Weasel. And that's the problem with this lot. No respect. Nothing. You know what? I'm not sure I like the idea of Team Karen plotting in a room without me. So, actually, I may well pre-record a special interview for this silly little podcast. Yeah. And then it won't be so silly anymore, will it? Because I'm on it, Wesley Henry. Then it'll be good, and you'll enjoy it. Yeah. We'll see how Team Karen feels about that, shall we?
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Horses and Biscuits. Got a great show lined up for you today. This is the Meet the Weasel episode where we're going to be showing you a few snippets of an interview that I got with Wesley actor Gavin. And before I introduce you to my friends, I just want to say to my friends in America out there that are suffering right now because of the storms and the tornadoes, I hope you're all safe and well. I know it's affected a lot of you, and I hope you stay safe. Okay, let's get rid of that bad weather. Right, let's introduce who we got to speak to today. Introducing Steph, Orla, and Gareth. How's it going, guys?
How we doing?
All right.
Hi.
Yeah. That was a nice little intro, wasn't it? That Wesley guy.
I was a fan, yeah. He's nasty, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Not a big fan of my podcast. Silly name podcast. It is a silly name podcast, but it's funny. We all like it.
It works.
It
does work. because none of us are right in our minds, really. I mean, none of us are. Let's face it.
No. That's fair.
Let's go around the room. Orla, how have you been? It's been a while since we spoke. A couple of weeks.
Yeah. No, I've been good. Just finishing up for the Christmas term. I'm traveling home soon, so really excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been good.
Nice. So how long are you home for then? A couple of weeks?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks, just until the new year, and then term starts again, and it's all go with deadlines and assessments and stuff. So
2022 is going to be an interesting year, isn't it? It really is.
It is. Yeah.
Steph, how are you? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, all dandy.
Well, cozy there in the blanket you got wrapped around you.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not my Udi.
Your Udi, not your Udi. Oh. Gareth, look at this. He's so proud of his jumper. Look at it, my Christmas jumper.
There you go. It's the last one before Christmas, isn't it? So I'm going to make an effort. I got changed specifically for the show. So,
well,
I mean, it's a bit cold as well, but
it is a bit chilly. Today's show is sponsored by Al's Chin. Not very often you get to see my chin. I wanted to shave a weird goatee thing for a laugh, and I got it wrong. So I had to get rid of it all, and I hate that.
Oh dear.
I like a beard. I don't like showing my chin.
Just suit you. Doesn't suit
a lot of people say that. I go for the old potato look. Anyway, let's get on with today's show. So what we've got today is Gavin, who won the role as Wesley. Unfortunately, couldn't be here today, but we pre-recorded a good 45-minute, 50-minute interview, which we will release in 2 weeks' time. But what I've done is I've cut little interesting bits out of that interview so we can share it and we can discuss. But before we get into that, I just want to say your comments are very welcome in the chat. Mike's there already. How's it going, Mike?
How you doing, Mike?
Hi.
If you have any questions for the crew, please throw them in the comments. But we also had a special evening a few days ago, didn't we, Gareth?
We did. Yep. Henry's still got his tux on. You can't see him from this angle, but he's still got his tux on. Yeah, no, it was a great night we had at the Wellington Orbit Cinema, supporting Luke Allen and Alex Youssefi's Reduced to Clear short film, which we co-produced back in the summer. And yeah, those things. Oh, I've got mine here. They are just. What I was told afterwards is the red light is to symbolise Henry's hair. So I didn't know that at the time. So it just got better and better. And then as well as that, I was on the way out and some guy came up to me asking for the autograph. No, that's never happened before. See, all of that'll be you soon, Steph. That'll be you soon. But
there'll be no living with him now, Steph.
No, but the best thing is, on the way out, Gareth actually stopped the man and said, "Excuse me, can I borrow this?" and showed it all of us to prove that he did ask for his autograph.
Hey, yeah, you, come over here. All your friends crowd around him like, this guy.
It was pretty much like
That's
that.
me.
It was. It's like, no.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
I love it.
so I was happy. It wasn't even my film, not really, and but yeah, it was a great night, wasn't it, Al?
Yeah, it really was. I really enjoyed myself. There's a couple more pictures there of you guys. You went to Spoons afterwards. Dante looking very smiley there in the background. Simon Fisher-Becker was there as well. We had a good chat with him. There's me and Alex Youssefi looking very smiley, and me and Luke. It was a very good night, and I kind of did my thing, kind of hid in a corner for a little bit before I sort of warmed up my social anxiety sort of thing. Then we did the Q&A after the film, which was very nice.
I'll maybe stand up. I was trying to avoid the Q&A. I was sitting in my seat trying to mind my own business, and I was like, come down here.
It was one of those. Like, what are you doing up there? Get down here, buddy.
You were happy to get down there. Don't lie.
Well, I didn't mind.
Yeah.
He just handed it all the way down there. It was a very fun night. So thank you for the invite, and it was nice seeing you guys. And congratulations to Luke Allen and Alex Youssefi as well, because Reduced to Clear was a great project to see all the way through. And hats off to Shane as well, who run things there from the beginning. He put those shows together, and he did a great job in producing them shows. Right. Main topic of today is Gavin. You know Gavin, guys? Yeah? How do you like him? You think he's a nice guy?
He'll do.
I'm looking forward to working with him, to be honest. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. I think when he auditions, because I have this habit on our panels of saying things that maybe should stay in my head. And so I just come out of it and I said, "You just look like a weasel." And luckily, he took it in the right way, didn't he?
Yeah. Honestly, I was sat next to you and you said it, and I just looked over at Steph. I was like, "Did that just happen?"
Yeah, it did.
That happens a lot, to be fair, doesn't it? But
yes.
But no, luckily, he took it in the right way. I had a Zoom chat with him the week after me and Luke did, because obviously on the day there's nerves going around, and you're never quite sure, who the person behind the acting is. But talking to Gavin at home as opposed to Gavin in an audition, he was way more relaxed and chilled, and we had a great chat about stuff. So yeah, he's a great guy. Looking forward to working with him.
He's got that real fine quality of yeah. I've had a great day, and you what, mate? No, he just switches it up. It's brilliant. Yeah. It really is genuinely brilliant. So yeah, I asked him a few questions. I put 5 in, but there's like 7 bits of audio because he's. I love it when you can do an interview and you can really sort of take your time. People don't feel. I love it when people don't feel like they're rushed to answer a question. And first of all, I need to point out, I don't do a question format normally. I don't list questions. That's not how I do things. It's all conversation. For the Q&A the other day, I didn't have a notebook with me. I just went with it, So it was nice that he thought about these things. There's a lot of deliberation here. And the first one I asked him was, how do you think you will approach the role of a villain? So here is what I asked him. Here we go. Hopefully this works well. How do you think you'll approach the role of a villain?
So, with regards to Wesley, if you like, I think it was from reading through the script that I was sent for the audition, it was clear you could tell from how he was as a character that who and what he was about, and what I liked, I mean, this isn't going to sound great. I kind of like not very nice roles and not very nice people. And when I read his bit, I just thought, oh, I love this. I love him because I hate him. He's a real creep. And in answer to your question, I think it's because for me, you're able to put yourself into a sort of area that isn't you by day. And well, I don't like to think I'd be a villain by day, but I think I said to Gareth and Luke we had a call a week after the audition that there were certain elements of him as a character that I've worked with people like that, and you know that kind of helps you sort of bring those things in, and you've all well, I don't know about you, but I've worked with people that speak to people like that or behave like that, and
I think we all have from one time or another.
Yeah, and I think that really helps. But I would approach each villain differently, I guess, depending on what it was in front and to what extreme they, what it was they were doing, I guess.
So there we go. He didn't quite know how to answer my question, in all honesty. So I did take it from a different angle. What are your thoughts on him there? That is his first initial video.
Yeah.
No, carry on, Gareth.
No, it's all right. You crack on.
I kind of love how he couldn't really answer, like, but the fact that he loves villain characters, I was like, but what? I don't think I've ever heard someone say that, but I mean, that honesty is just, well, I mean, you could tell he was so good, wasn't he? Like, he really was, like, just evil.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, he's quite clearly not like that as a person. He's a really chill, kind of down to earth guy. I mean, and it's kind of terrifying that, I mean, and I know that I'm a bit younger than some of you guys.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that he's had to like work with people like that, like that's.
It happens quite often. It happens.
There are people out there just like that, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't want to get any older.
You sound like my 6-year-old. He's like, I don't want to get older. But I did pose a question from a different angle, so we'll take a look at that now. Because I know there is a script and there is a direction that Gareth wants, but you think of a character like Wesley, you can throw in your own personality into that. You can be the domineering, like, shiny Rolex, like, what are you looking at, darling, kind of guy, or you can be really sinister, like the fox or the weasel that they're trying to portray.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by sort of approach. Are you gonna go out there and be like, no, I want it on time, kind of really like throw yourself in there, or are you gonna like kind of like really try and he swore to mess with people's heads?
I think Wesley's a bit cold. He's a bit. I think he's more. I don't think he's necessarily a sort of loud in your face kind of character. I think he's a bit more sinister, and he's a bit. I think he could probably look
devious.
At you. And he could look at you in a particular way, and you'd know that you'd done something wrong. And what I also liked about him as a character was that I think he's primarily just sort of admin support, but he bowls around that care home as if he's the man,
Yeah. So there we go. We got it out of him eventually.
There you go.
It's a difficult one, isn't it, when you step into a role like that? I mean, like with Izzy, Orla, you could probably, have this now, this vision of how you're going to play it throughout the whole thing. And Karen, Steph, you've had this idea for a long time of how you're going to do it. So, like, to throw yourself into that and to build that character inside your head, it's important, right?
Yeah, I'll let Steph, you.
It's taken 4 years to get this character as she is, because we didn't really do anything with her to begin with, did we?
No, she was literally in like 2-3 scenes of a film that didn't happen. So it was, so she's been sort of sat on the shelf for a long time, hasn't she? So it's kind of like having to dig that back out. And then also, to be fair, I think as things have developed, Karen's probably one of the characters that stayed the same more than others have. Others have evolved and adapted and changed. Like Jess wasn't even autistic in that original film idea. In Izzy has grown a lot since Orla got the part. It was a small role, now it's become bigger. But Karen's always been quite consistent, hasn't she, in terms of that? She hasn't really changed a whole lot. So you've had quite a long time to get into that mindset.
But yeah, no, she hasn't changed at all.
No.
I mean, you were trying to get me to put an accent on. It's like, no.
Yeah, we were originally going to go for, because you are, you spent a lot of time, didn't you, when you were younger in Old Wolverhampton, and we were going to go with that.
Yeah, and you wanted me to re-go yam yam accent. It's like, no.
To be fair, though, we never actually discussed it. We just sort of came to the Izzy auditions, and we didn't do the accent, and then we just sort of like thought, you know what, this works about. So we just didn't even have a conversation about it, did we? We just sort of both...
No, we just like to scrap at it.
Yeah.
I was going
to say, I don't remember you having an accent.
No, there wasn't. You would never have known about it. It was before that was stopped, yeah.
This was well before Izzy.
Yeah.
Of course, accents are very difficult for continuity. You know, really difficult to sort of. I mean, I used to do little sketches for On the Left Side, which is big shout out to the guys there. It was a sports show, and I used to do accents and voices for them. They used to be like, "Al, we need a Jurgen Klopp impression," and I'd be like, "Oh my god!" And I'd go away and I'd spend like 2 days. And I used to do this bit on my podcast, like the Camp Germans. So like Jurgen Klopp, I'd be like, "The Camp German, yes, yeah, welcome to the show," but then I'd bring it down a little bit, and then there's your Jurgen Klopp, and you spend a couple of days sort of learning these different. Stupid, but it works. But then they would get like, can you do a Brazilian that's maybe lived in Spain for a few years? And I'd be like, what?
That's
Probably
more
not
than anything else.
Probably not. No, yeah. So, yeah, accents are difficult. But the next question I asked him was the hardest question, and it took us a good 45 minutes to get the answer out of it. And that was, what is your inspiration for a villain? We've all got like our favorite sort of villains, our favorite heroines, our favorite versions of a certain type of character. So I asked him, what is your inspiration for a villain? So here's I call it inspiration take one. Here we go. Is there a TV, movie, or audio sort of baddie that's inspired you for this role particular?
Ooh. It's one of those again where you're like, I'm on the spot.
I should have got some great music. The
countdown timer.
Oh yeah, an old wooden clock.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm trying to think what I was referring to. I mean, there's been so. Yeah, I'm struggling with that.
We can circle back round if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll put a pin on that one. That was it. We'll come back to that in a section.
I'm surprised at that because his character interview, he was on it. But so maybe if he was Wesley, he would have come out with answers real quick. But when he's Gavin, he has to think more. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, his character interview was so good.
It was, wasn't it?
It was kind of scary almost.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to talk to him anymore.
That's charming, isn't it? Bless him.
Yeah.
Poor Gavin.
I gotta say, he's a lovely guy. The interview, I can't wait for you guys to hear it. But I'll go around the room and we'll go with Steph. Like, is there a character or personality on TV where you look at Karen and you think, I've got to stole a bit of this from that person, a bit from this bit. I mean, even if it's a real life person, are there any influences for Karen there?
We've spoke about this, and Karen's mainly just me. That's it. She's me through and through.
So no, that is the answer. Just you.
Just me.
Just you. Orla, is there anything that you've stolen from other places?
I think, yeah, kind of ish. In the sense of kind of naive is kind of the wrong word. More oblivious. So when it comes to like Izzy's moments of just pure oblivion, like something is meant to be so clearly obvious and she's just not getting it. And I've kind of taken inspiration from a character from Hannah Montana.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant. I love that.
Hey, no, I used to watch Hannah Montana a lot when I was little.
Yeah.
And Lily in that, who's Miley's best friend, and doesn't realise that she's Hannah Montana until she's keyed in on the secret. And then also kind of taken inspiration from London Tipton, from the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh,
for kind of some of her
out.
dumb blonde moments. So
I like that. No,
yeah.
Because you think of like The Office, and you think of Martin Freeman's role as, was it Gareth? Gareth is the role, isn't it? And then they went and they adapted it to is Jim. What's it? Who's it?
John
Swore
Krasinski.
John Krasinski's role. I swore that on my own show. Sorry, guys. It happens from time to time. I flip from biscuit mode to music mode. Anyway, moving on. So I asked Gavin about the chemistry with you guys. Obviously, coming to a big, huge audition with so many people, I wanted to get a sort of his spin on how he felt about that. So here is what he said about the chemistry of coming to the audition and facing you guys. Use those words properly. Here we go. Right. The next question is, what did you make of the chemistry of the cast and crew, and will you be looking forward to working with them?
Yeah. Well, my first surprise was that there was that many people in the room, and second surprise was that those people facing me, 3 of which were in this. And going back to my call with Gareth and Luke, when I arrived, I parked the car and I turned up and I pressed the buzzer and no one answered, and I thought, oh no. But I didn't realise that, I didn't know the door was open.
That happened to me as well. I got to say,
right, okay, good. Before, I'm not the only one. And then someone came down the stairs, said, "Oh yeah, it's upstairs." So, and I sat down and I waited, and they said, "Oh, we're just finishing up another audition." I said, "Yeah, fine." I sat down, and then I heard this round of applause and thought, "What?" I mean, at most I was thinking 3 people, but. So I was quite surprised when we did the 3 auditions that.
Can you feed off that though? Can you feed off a crowd of people? Like, does it egg you on in the performance?
I don't know if it. I think for me it was kind of okay. You've got no time to think about it. They're now getting into position, and these are your fellow actors, actresses, and characters for this, and you just get on with it. I mean, my one comment at the end of it was that obviously having not realised that they were going to be there and not being completely off book, the eye contact for me, I would have been better on the day. Obviously, when you're doing it, you're looking at someone. For then, it was a bit like, oh, I didn't know that person was going to be there and this person was going to be there. And but I thought it was. I thought the chemistry was good, and I think there's a particular scene with Orla. Which was in one of the audition scenes, which I think is going to be great because that in fact I think a lot of the scenes that Wesley has with Orla is going to be great because again he's being condescending to her, but there's a particular scene that we auditioned that that really shows how sinister he is.
So there we go. He's really looking forward to getting stuck into those condescending parts with Izzy. You all are interested?
Yeah.
Right?
No, when the scene that's going to be in the pilot that we used in the audition, I don't know about you, Steph. I was buzzed after that scene. I thought it went so well. Just like watching the back and forth between Steph and Gavin. Kind of when he turned around to snap at her, and then the moments of just like you said, they're just the pure condescending nature that he had with Izzy. Like I think the 3 of us were proper popping in that scene.
Yeah, you were. I mean, for those auditions, I intentionally never show the scripts to people that aren't in the scenes beforehand. Well, obviously like Luke and that, but in terms of the other people on the panel. So when the people on the panel started genuinely laughing. You knew you're on the right track because that's like a test audience right there, and they were genuinely finding it really funny as well as being really meaningful. So I thought, we're getting there, But no, yeah, it was a risk putting that scene in because I thought it's such a big scene within the pilot. is that something you want to drop on Orla, Steph, and whoever Wesley's going to be at an audition level? Because it kind of like is essentially, isn't it? It's like the ending to the whole pilot episode. So it's a big one to go with. But then the fact that we did and it went well, I think has given everyone loads of confidence that if you can do that at an audition, imagine what we can do when we really start getting to grips with it in rehearsals and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all really interesting. It's nice seeing you guys all sort of getting to know each other and sort of learning your strengths and your weaknesses and stuff. And obviously, all the juicy, important bits will come in the new year when you guys start filming and rehearsing and do some table reads and stuff. That'll be the interesting bits.
Oh, table reads would be really interesting with a script, wouldn't they, Steph?
Oh, yes,
I've been
definitely.
waiting for about 2 weeks for Orla to sort of go in on me on that one. I did say to her, you need to start putting pressure on me. But I've been writing it today, actually. I was writing a Wesley scene, actually, just before we come on the show. And I found myself after I was replying to someone in a message, and I felt, I'm being quite nasty. I didn't mean to be. I just been writing like dialogue for this nasty villain, and I found myself still being in the zone and being quite like off with someone. I was like, I'm sorry.
I'm glad you're writing it today. That was good.
Yeah, see, brownie points for the boss.
Nice. The next question I asked Gavin was what his best part of the audition was. Where's that best part of the audition? Here we go. And here's what he had to say about that. All right. Question 4. What was the best part of the audition for you?
Oh, definitely the second audition out of the 3.
The second scene that you did. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how much I can say about it. Yeah, without sort of any spoilers. But you really felt that. You really felt that you had a bit of swagger with that.
Yeah, it was a particular moment, and the tables had turned, and I was able, knowing what the scene was about and how he was, and this was him to then sit back and be like, okay, right. And I felt for me it was my strongest part of the audition, and I was really comfortable doing it. And again, he was being really nasty, but trying to and just domineering and yet at the end of it when I got feedback from the room as to each of the scenes. I think the room was split actually, because I felt that scene 3 wasn't my strongest, whereas some people thought it was, and some people thought it was 2. But for in answer to your question, definitely the second scene that was a moment for me, because it was this is Wesley's big moment.
So there we go. Speaking to people that do attend the auditions that you guys do, I love how one of the most important things that people bring up is that the feedback that they get, because it's not like right, thank you, we'll be in touch. Is it? No, let's talk about what we just saw. And, it's usually a very positive experience. And that's nice to see. Gareth?
Yeah, absolutely. We, since day one, going back to Steph's audition, all way back when, right the way through all of them, we've always said that no one will ever not get a phone call the same day they audition for us, no matter who it is. If we had 100 people in, we'd phone them all up. Because we think that as an absolute minimum, they should at least be able to learn something. If they haven't got a part, they should be able to go away and be able to say, okay, so I was told that I could do this better or that better. I think it's so important. And honestly, some people have auditioned and not got the part. Because of where they are in their particular acting journey, that bit of feedback has made them as happy as someone else getting the actual part. Because to them, it has that much value to them. Like, they probably knew coming in they weren't going to get it, but they wanted to have a go and get the experience. And we were able to add on to that by saying, you have the experience, this is what you need to learn from it. And I've been genuinely very, very, very grateful for that. So, we'd always do that.
Having spoke to so many actors over the years, genuinely, we've spoken to people from Cobra Kai and from Loki and from a lot of young up and coming actors that go to auditions and they file it, gone, right, and then they go to the next one, file it, next one, file it, just to save themselves from getting attached too much. So So I don't know how to think about that, because it's nice that you guys you genuinely offer a very gentle sort of platform for people to sort of get used to these auditions, get to know you guys, and maybe if something comes up in the future, you're there in the filer decks, just in case. It's kind of unique, but good,
Well, the thing about this industry is it's all about networking.
Yeah,
it's all about
sense.
contacts that you make, no matter how small they may seem at the time. And, even in the future, how small they may seem then, but just even having a phone number or an email address, it can be all it takes. And you've got to go into the mindset of at every audition, you try your best. You want to succeed, otherwise you wouldn't go for it. But the thing is if you don't succeed, then you're just not what they wanted on the day. You can't take that personally, and you've got to have thick skin. And I think the more experience that you get, the more that develops. But that doesn't mean to say that you have to go into an audition with an almost negative outlook on, oh well, I'm not going to get it, so I need to prepare myself for that. Do you know what I mean? Which I think is why it's just really nice that we do the phone calls. Even at the end of my audition, I wasn't expecting to have a sit down feedback. I was like, oh, this is quite nice. And then obviously to be told you'll get a phone call no matter what, and I was like, oh, thanks. That it's just really thoughtful. Not many people would think to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be. I mean, my auditions that I've turned up to and stayed for, they've been a very nice experience. Because I've never been in that scenario before, so to see how that goes was really nice. And I guess, Gareth, if you have a huge project in 4 or 5 years and you're looking for a muscly guy who can project his voice well, you're like, remember Ben? You can just be like, Ben, I've got a role for you. Is that handy?
Yeah, it is. And Orla made a really good point there about, as long as you've auditioned, we know who you are then. I mean, take the Izzy auditions, for instance. Bar a screen test with Orla to make sure the chemistry's there. We're going to be offering the part of Izzy's best friend to someone who auditioned to be Izzy. Now, we don't know about her unless she auditions to be Izzy in the first place. There's another girl, Sarah Morelli, who wowed us all, and she auditioned to be Izzy. She's not going to be Izzy. She's Italian, but she's going to be Isabella. So these roles and characters get created, even if it's not the part you went for. Look at the Allied audition. How many people we cast from that? So as long as you're in the room, you're giving yourself a chance, aren't you?
Yeah, nice. The second to last question, because we will go back to that question that Gavin couldn't answer, was would he get on with Wesley? I thought this was an interesting one. Would he get on with him as a character? And here's what he had to say about that. The other question I've got here is, what do you think of Wesley as a person? Could you get on with him in real life?
What do I think of him as a person? I think he is the way he is because of things that have happened to him when he was growing up, and I suppose the best form of defense is attack, and I think that's very much what he's about. But I think there's a glimmer of he's actually there is a nice person in there for a nanosecond, but I think he strives to be appreciated and he wants to do well, but he wants people to know that he's doing well, and I think he's frustrated in being the level that he's at, which is why he's this sort of character that thinks he's running the show, because that's what he wants to be doing, but he's not. But I think he wants all the plaudits of that. Would I get on with him as a person? Yeah, probably. But that's because I'm not working with him, perhaps,
I feel like with people like Wesley, it's good to keep people like that at arm's length. Do you know what I mean? Because if you make an enemy of a guy like Wesley, he's going to make your life hard. So you've kind of got to sort of keep the peace a little bit. Oh, did you watch the match on Saturday? Oh, yeah, they were awful, weren't they? Yeah. Right, catch you later. See you later.
Yeah.
Them kind of conversations you have in the corridor passing, you know? It's all fake, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
you know, we've all had friends like it. We've all had people like it where you're like, yeah, I'm not too sure about you, but hey, how's it going? You all right? Have a good weekend? Crack on. See you later.
Yeah. I think people sort of talk to me like that anyway. To be honest, that's nothing new. To be fair, you know. So I have to start making.
Look at this guy with a dodgy jumper. I'm not going to.
and be like, I had to start making films just to get people to spend time with me. You know. So that's just the way it is. So I can relate to Wesley on that level. But one thing that Gavin said in our chat, me and Luke had with him, which I found was a really, really interesting way of looking at it, was Wesley's the sort of guy that would walk up to your desk to say, I've just sent you an email, and then walk away again. You know, he's that sort of guy that would do that. And when he summed that up, and I was like, that is exactly what Wesley's like. You know, he's that guy, that nerd that always has to be, teacher's pet and, kissing up to someone. Yeah, absolutely.
I watched a film last weekend. It was called The Christmas Party. It was quite cool. It was just something I threw on Netflix for. Let's see what this is like.
Oh, is that with Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, and Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
And he who shall not be named because he's an asshole. And there's a scene in there where they walk up to the girl and Jennifer Aniston's like, I think was it Jennifer Aniston? It's somebody anyway. No, it was the Toby of the thing. Human resources, or anyway. Walked up to the girl and was like, "That top's a bit slutty," and it's just literally a V-neck top. And she's like, "You what? Like, you can't wear that in the office?" I feel like Wesley would probably be a mixture of, "Oh, look at the tits on that," and "No, you can't wear that in the office." You kind of wouldn't know where to lie with him, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
That's what I get from him. It's interesting, though, isn't it? Gareth, do you reckon you get on well with Wesley?
It's a good question. I reckon that's not funny, but yeah, probably to a certain extent. But I reckon I get sacked quite quickly because he'd like have me up in a disciplinary because I've said something rude or something. I reckon he's the sort of guy that can't take a joke. I reckon he would report anyone for anything. So I would definitely get reported quite quickly, I think, and then that friendship would sadly not last very long.
What about you, Karen?
No.
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 Outside of the character. No. Orla?
No.
Just me and you, Wesley. Just me and you.
Nobody likes a weasel. And like I said, I keep him at arm's length and just be like, just stay away from me. Let me get on with my work. You know, that's kind of how I am anyway. Right. Back to that first question I tried to ask him. Gavin's inspiration for a villain. Is there somebody out there? And he gave a really good answer eventually after walking away from me. Genuinely, watch this. Because I know there was a script and that's the wrong one because I'm an idiot. Here we go. Question from earlier. Is there a bad TV or movie baddie that inspired you for this role? Is there something that you were channeling while you're doing your audition?
Yeah, I do have I'm trying to think. The thing is, there's so many. There are so many. I just can't think of one or two right now.
It's a difficult one.
One particular villain. His name escapes me. He's played by Tom Hardy, and he plays almost a Jewish gangster in.
In Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
I get that.
And he is the epitome of someone that you think you can trust, but even by trusting him, he's going to do you over anyway. And I mean, hopefully everyone's seen the show by now, and that's exactly what he does do.
Alfie Solomon.
That's it. Yeah,
Alfie Solomon. Yeah. That's a good pull, actually. I feel like. Because he's not, like you said, he's not in your face. Like, he's one of those that'll sidle up to you and be like, "Are you sure you want to say that? Are you sure that's the word you want to say to me?" You know.
And I think Mr. Shelby trusts him, and we can all see that he's probably not a man to be trusted, and does. And obviously, it doesn't work out. But I think, you know, there's a certain element of in that. I guess there's an element of him as a villain he's striving to do everything he can to make himself okay, and I think certainly Wesley's got that in him. Whereas he'll smile and be yeah, but behind closed doors, it's like, I'm going to crush that receptionist.
Unlucky, Orla.
Nice.
Unlucky.
Right. Okay, I know where I stand.
Under his foot by the sounds of it.
Alfie Solomon, do you know who he's on about, Gareth? Do you think it's a good comparison?
I do. Yeah, big fan. It's an intro. It was not an obvious comparison, but I can see where he's coming from. Absolutely, you know. And it's confidence. You can pay yourself to Tom Hardy. That's confidence right there. So, you know, I like that.
Anybody can out-act Tom Hardy. I think he's overrated, in my opinion. There's a couple of good movies he's been in, but the rest of it are shite. So, I mean,
have you
that's my
watched
opinion.
Legend?
Is that the one that yeah, the one.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I got halfway through and then turned it off.
Oh no.
And there's the Capone one where he literally craps himself. And I was just like, what am I?
No, I've not seen that one.
But then again, there are a few else. Warrior is one of my favorite films of all time. So I'm not saying Tom Hardy is terrible. I'm saying he's not great all the time. And then there's the Sean Connery Bane. You may ask yourself, why shoot a man before pushing him out of a plane? No. Anyway,
Hardy,
we digress.
Tom Hardy, if you're watching this podcast and you want to guest star on the first series of Karen, you can give it some, you know, as long as you can reach Orla and Steph's level, we can work something out. Yeah.
I promise I won't come on set when you're there because I know he's going to instant beef with you now. So they were Gavin's questions, and I've got to say I thoroughly enjoyed speaking to him. I mean, I've enjoyed the process all the way through and getting to meet new friends and speak to you guys, and it's been a pleasure anyway. But it's really nice to get inside the psyche of someone who's going to play a villain. But at the same time, it's nice to, I feel like on the flip side, all as an intelligent person who's playing a bit of a dit. So it's nice to get the flip side of it. Someone who's going to sort of dumb themselves down a bit and play that simple character. It's nice. Some
of my family and friends would disagree that I have to do any dumbing down of any sort. But thank you.
This is a great process. But Gareth, you know, it's come up to Christmas now. All is going back home. We're all kind of thinking, let's put our feet up for a couple of weeks. You got a bit of planning to do. What does next year look like for you?
Next year, it looks like an extras workshop to find our background residents and carers. That's a big thing. We've got a read through for a script, which I'm going to be working on when everyone else is getting ready for Christmas. That's what I'm finishing off. And then, as well as that, obviously, we've got the pilot itself, which we're filming. Rehearsal start in April. Filming starts in June. So yeah, there's as busy as this year has been. We've recently been filming our end of year stuff, and I've already done hers, and Luke was in yesterday doing his. As busy as this year's been, next year is just going to top it in every category. It's that much planned. It's going to be so full on. It's going to be absolutely nuts.
So it's going to be a case of, Gareth, can you help me with it? No, I'm busy. Go away. Off you go.
Well, we've got loads of work on, including a really exciting documentary on disability, which with Simon Fisher-Becker. And I've literally said to Luke that
Fisher-Becker there.
Luke's offered, and I said I think to make sure that doesn't like fall behind, because we don't want it to. Luke's going to start doing some editing more on that side of things. So even I'm getting to the point, because these guys will tell you I'm really bad at letting go of stuff. I'm not good at delegating. I like to do everything, but if I do that, nothing will get done. So I'm gradually starting to let go of various little babies, and then I'm just going to focus on the writing and the direction. So everyone's going to have lots to do next year, and of course before that, next time after the Boxing Day one, next time we're on the show, it'll be all about this Izzy versus Jess sport relief spin-off thing. That's the next thing. So I told Christy the good news. Yeah, we'll chat about that obviously off air before that one. I told Christy the good news. 2nd of January, Christy, New Year's hangover. You and Orla are going live on the show together. How about that? So wasn't delighted, but no, it's nothing personal now.
Nice. So much to look forward to, and you guys working together is just going to get better and better, isn't it? I've got to say, you mentioned to me that you want to get local businesses involved, and this is something that I kind of feel like I can help with. So you sent me this brilliant artwork here, and it says here, local businesses. Would you like to see your business feature in our new drama? And it says here, how would you like to see your business feature in a care home drama that is being filmed locally? By sponsoring the most exciting independent production for miles, we will guarantee you product placement, scenes set in your businesses, and mentioned in the credits. And if you want to, you listen to this audio podcast and you do want to get involved, which I do encourage you guys to do, you can call 07488340440 or 01691570218 or email info@rockinghorsemedia.co.uk. Product placement is really important when it comes to independent, when it comes to anything. There's those scenes, those lazy scenes in a cafe in Coronation Street when you see, brands and you hear music playing. It's all product placement. It's all there. It's a science. And if you can, feature your coffee shop, for example, maybe, Alid and Izzy are having a chat in a coffee shop in the middle of Oswald Street or Wrexham or Shrewsbury, wherever it is. If it's somewhere that's a local supporting a shop's a business that's supporting an independent production, it all goes round in circles. Akuda Matata, baby. So, get involved. I think
absolutely. Yeah.
Very exciting. How was that, Gareth? Is that all right? Can we cut that bit out?
No, loved it. You learned your script. It's all good. And
hi, would you like your local business to feature in a local production?
There you go, nailing it. But it's so important because obviously Karen is going to be expensive. None of us are getting paid. This is purely just to cover the cost to get it made. Obviously, the crowdfund is still going at the moment. The campaign video, which Orla and Dean are all over, is done really well. We're up to nearly 600 now. I think 565 we're on at the minute, and that's been running for 2 months. But for context, we spent most of that 2 months plugging the auditions. We were looking for Izzy, then we were looking for Ali, then we're looking for Wesley. So we haven't really properly pushed it in that 2 months. It's really only been the last couple of weeks that we've really gone for it, and we've seen some seriously generous investments in that. An actress's mum the other night, she was at that premiere we talked about. Get home, there's another 30 quid in there. It's a fiver here, a tenner there. It doesn't have to be big amounts of money. Some of these donations are really small, but they all add up. So if you can, just please keep it coming because it's all going to a good place.
The link is in the chat, guys. I've put it there, and there's some cool little perks here as well. You can keep a copy there for £30, and he said $30. And see, can't distinguish where I am at the moment. Karen for Karen there, £50. Catch a credit, 75. But lots of cool perks. So click the link and check out what's going on there with the Indiegogo. It seems like such a silly thing to say, but I like it because it's silly. I'll go into the comments now, see what people have got to say. Mike actually asks, does Gareth take inspiration from films or shows for the characters that you write?
Oh, that's an interesting one. To an extent, I think. It always starts with, sometimes it can be an intentional idea, like, okay, I need to put people in a care home. So I tend to think of the character first, and then I'll watch things which are similar. Like we were having to write the character for this sociopathic character way back when. The main character's dad, who's a real nasty piece of work, called Daniel. And because I'm such a lovely, down-to-earth guy, I genuinely couldn't work out how someone like that would tick. So I watched American Psycho, and it was I watched American Psycho, and I was like, now I know what I'm doing. So it can really help for stuff like that.
I love American Psycho. That scene with the business cards. Oh my god, it's so brilliant, so brilliant. What other comments we got here? So Rebecca Duff Thomas says, Tom Hardy reading bedtime stories on CBBS made lockdown more bearable for some of us.
He read stories on CBBS.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Love it.
He does Mother's Day. He does Christmas. He does Easter.
The mums watch it more than the kids do.
The kids go to bed.
Yeah.
Kids already had their bedtime story.
Yeah.
Kids go to bedtime. That's it.
To be fair, if he did one as Bane from Batman, you can have all my money because I like it for all the wrong reasons. There was an old lady who lives in a shoe. And Kenny says CBBS as well. And Kenny Jones also adds 2nd of January. Oof, we'll still be partying. So
Yeah, 2nd of January is still a bank holiday in Scotland. So
commitment, that isn't it?
yeah.
Good on you. Good on you.
So we're going to take a break from doing these lives for 2 weeks time. We'll have the Gavin interview in full. There's about 50-minute episode there, and then we'll be back in about 4 weeks time. Let everybody have a bit of time for Christmas. You know, enjoy the time with their families and stuff. I want to give you guys a reminder as well. It is in Shrewsbury, but it's going nationwide. On Wednesday the 15th, there's doorstep carols, and that's going on. It's happening all in towns all across the UK. So there is a Facebook and social media there for doorstep carols. Make sure you have a look because there might be something going on in your town. And the idea is that the carols will be played on BBC Shropshire or on BBC Nationwide. You can play it on the radio and you can sing along on your doorstep, or you can. Yeah, it's amazing. The one shower involved and all sorts. The BBC love this idea, so I'm going to be walking around with a microphone and shoving it in people's faces. So if you see me walking around Shrewsbury, make sure you come say hello. I'm a friendly guy. We'll have a good chat. You know, it's not too scary. It's not live either, and we can get some pictures, some selfies and stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. So, Gareth, have you got anything to add before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. I wish everyone a very, very happy Christmas. We've got a nice little Christmas message, which Orla recorded last time she was in the office. We go that Christmas Day, but as well as that, on behalf of all of us, have an amazing Christmas, the New Year, and all the rest of it. It's been one heck of a year, but next year is going to be even better for us, and hopefully it's even better for everybody.
Nice. Steph, have you got anything to add?
No, happy chappy. Just everyone have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all after.
Nice. Orla?
Just Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year when it comes, and stay safe, everyone, with the developing situations all across the world. Yet again, please, everyone, stay safe. And when the New Year comes, as us Scots say, lang may your lum reek.
What does that mean?
So it's like, my mom's probably going to go, that's totally not how you say it or what it means, but it's like when you would light your fire and the smell of it. Yeah. So it's like, first foot in, you would go round to your neighbours with a lump of coal for their fire.
Okay.
So it's kind of,
But
nice.
Genuine good wishes and things like that.
On the note that Orla said about staying safe, just everyone watching this, if everyone can make sure that you're being extra careful, you know, wear your face mask, do all the rest of it, because I'm not having a lockdown with one of my actors stuck in Scotland, just so we're clear. That's not on. That's not happening. So no lockdowns, please. Everyone behave. Yeah.
We don't have to sneak her over the border.
Well, I will. Genuinely. Don't think I won't.
Smuggle her in a hobgoblin truck or something. Just beer in it, mate. Just beer. Nothing else in it. Don't worry about it. Just let me go on my way. Thank you very much. Just popped up now a comment here. Carol Booth put hard working behind the scenes schedule, all or nothing. That's what next year's going to look like. I love that. And on that note, we will catch you guys in a few weeks' time. Make sure you download this episode, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and we'll catch you guys in a couple of weeks. Merry Christmas, everybody. Peace.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.